Hi.
Hello.
Can you guys...
Are we sideways?
Are we sideways? I don't know how this is working. I think
I
we
don't
might
know.
actually be. I think we would be because that hasn't flipped around. Should we start? No, because now you just... No,
Drop.
no, I think it needs to go that way because
Okay.
the screen.
Are we around the right way now? This is so confusing. Look at us go.
We're so good at this.
Much technology.
See, that's perfect. That's
Okay.
good.
Alright.
Maybe one block
One block?
under it. We're just trying to get it perfect because we're going to be live streaming
I don't think
our...
it'll fit under there.
No, one little one.
It will fit.
Oh, it won't fit?
Oh.
No, it won't. No, that's not going to fit. I'm bad at maths. But this is fine. We were just worried before because we were all boob. Yeah, so we're going to be we're going to be live broadcasting our recording of our Sweet Teen Club episode, which is about Beverly Hills 90210. So we're pretty excited. We're a little bit worried about, we haven't started recording yet, but we're a bit worried about concentrating too much on that and while doing this at the same time. So let's have fun and see if we can multitask.
Okay. Let's see if we can do this.
I don't have my introduction here, but do we remember it?
No. You'll have to open another one.
Alright.
Yeah, so this seat's not frothing. Just quietly.
You don't love the seat? Do you
No,
want
because
to
I'm like all the way over here.
Do you want to shove over a bit more?
Yeah, maybe can you shuffle?
How's that?
Quality viewing here, everybody.
Just organising ourselves.
So it's quality. Alright.
I'm just grabbing our
Okay.
intro because I don't have it. Oh, bloody hell.
It's been a while since we've done this.
It has been a while. Hang on, just let me get my stuff together. How's everyone been? How's your day? Just
Yeah,
talk
how's
amongst
Friday?
yourselves.
I went to a kids' school sports carnival, so
Is that incredibly
thoroughly
entertaining or not?
it was pretty funny because, you know, a bunch of 5-year-olds not knowing what to do.
For some incredibly strange reason, I won't go in there. Oh, for goodness. Why are you
Excellent
trying-
at technology.
Oh, whatever, we'll
So
just
we
read
have
it.
to read that and then...
Yeah, we'll have to go back to it. Hang on. Sorry, guys. This is
Just
not
in case anyone
entertaining
actually
for
is
anyone
watching.
at all. Okay.
Okay, so...
We're starting recording. Recording. Oh, and you guys can comment and say things and we'll just... like-
Yeah, and apparently they can do like little reactions and it'll float across the bottom of the screen.
Oh, cool. That'd be fun.
So
Well,
if
we're
you
looking
thumbs
forward to
up,
hearing from
we'll see it.
things and stuff.
Things and stuff. 10
Hi,
people! Hi, 10 people!
this is so exciting.
It actually really is. Okay, so should we start recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Carly,
And I'm Stacey,
and you're listening to Sweet Teen Club.
the podcast for all of us who can't leave the 90s behind.
Welcome to, I think, what is going to be an excellent episode, is the
Yeah.
episode about 90210, and we're talking about the original 90210, not the new one.
No, we don't need to go there.
No, and the old one is actually technically called Beverly Hills 90210, and the new one is just called 90210,
Yes.
and they're different.
Vastly.
Yes, very
Yeah.
much.
Brenda comes back for a start.
Yeah, she does, and she's wearing a vest, which I was very excited about.
The best in 2008.
Yes, in the new one. I was so excited because she was very much into the vest in the
It
first.
was very much a Brenda look, wasn't it?
Huge throwback. And I believe she was also wearing denim shorts. I was incredibly excited.
Yes, actually I had a Brenda Barbie doll and she was wearing like chino shorts, like the tan with
Nice.
and a big blossom hat. But when she was in Mallrats, she had it written into her contract that anything she wore on the movie she got to keep. So when you watch Mallrats, she's always shopping for clothes.
Oh my god, that's so weird.
It's so clever.
How many other people would have had that? Like, in
I don't know, but I
contracts?
thought
Is
that
that a
was
common
really
thing?
clever. I don't know, but I would want it.
Do you remember, like, this is totally off topic, but do you remember the first series of Big Brother in Australia?
Yes.
And the girl Gemma that was
Yes,
in
and
there?
she's into her lip gloss.
Yeah, but I found out afterwards she was really clever and got all of these sponsorships from like clothing and
Yeah,
makeup
she
brands
wore all the
before she went-
clothes in.
Yeah, it was insane. And afterwards I was like, that is so cluey. And that was the first series ever
Yeah.
in Australia. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, you are so cluey. How she didn't end up, you know, being a trillionaire.
Yeah,
after that
I
is
know.
beyond me, 'cause it's
I
very
liked
savvy.
the ballerina who wanted to be a stand-up comedian. She was cute.
Was she Christy? And she was
Christina.
Yeah, the dancing doona.
Oh, I
Remember the dancing
that.
Luna?
Yes, I do. Geez, that's going back, isn't it?
Oh, there are people talking
Yeah,
to
I know.
us.
Liz Bamford, the new one, was an abomination.
Oh,
yeah.
it was terrible. It was just
feel
the
ya.
worst. Hi, Beth. We just saw that you joined
Hey,
us.
Beth.
It's nice to see you. This is exciting.
I know.
Live.
Yes, actually, Beth's podcast, Over the Back Fence, is one of my favourites. So if you haven't listened to it, her
It's
and neighbour
awesome.
chatting, I'm a big fan. Actually, I've never rated it.
No, neither have I. I really should do
I'll
that.
rate it.
Beth's fabulous
Five
for a
stars.
yarn. She's
5
very,
stars
very
for Beth
funny.
and neighbour.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys there.
Yes.
So moving back to, we've got our little notes here. We have a shared document where we add notes as we watch things. So basically,
It's mostly me going, what the fuck? Did you see that? Actually, I've got a what the fuck down there with Andrea.
Oh, with Andrea. Oh my goodness.
Because you can't call her Andrea.
It's Andrea, darling. Andrea. So basic premise is it's a group of friends living in the upscale and star-studded community of Beverly Hills, California, as they make their way through high school at West Beverly Hills High and through to college, university. Oh, Beth just wrote moles. She's lovely. And so it ran from 1990 to 2000. So this is a true 90s icon. It only existed in the 90s, which is excellent.
Yeah.
So the main characters were Brandon and Brenda Walsh, and they were twins.
Twins, yeah.
Then there was Kelly,
who I thought was the most beautiful girl in the whole universe.
I actually still think she's the most beautiful girl in
She
the
is
whole
very
universe. When I watch it, I'm like, your face is just divine.
Her hair, you know how like when we read Sweet Valley High and they're like, their hair was like silk, like her hair actually was like silk.
Yeah, and she's got this perfect little pouty mouth that I just love. I'm like, I have no lesbian tendencies whatsoever, but I just really want to pash her. Like, I just think she's delicious.
I just want to brush her hair.
Let's do it at the same time.
And her hair was so straight and she had like that tiny little fringe that, because my hair was like not like this, that GHD does this. But back in the day, like I just had, no, I did not have Kelly hair and I really wanted to.
Yeah, I was so far off having Kelly hair. My hair was like 4,000 times worse than this back then.
Yes.
And then we had Kelly and Steve, and we had David and Donna as well.
I love David.
I love David. He was such a sweetheart.
Yeah, he was pretty cute.
And so that was the main cast. The show starts, so basically we're just going to go through and pick out key moments because it is a show that went for 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's
and
not...
I can't remember all of it. I stopped watching after a while.
Oh, yeah, me too. I got a bit bored, and then it got a bit silly, and then, you know, as lots of shows tended to do back then. So basically the twins moved from Minneapolis, Minnesota, to Beverly Hills, and it was kind of a, you know, country bumpkin kids in a big city situation.
Yes, everyone looks like they stepped out of a music video, and I don't even have the right hair.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah, lots of things were covered on the show, like, you know, date rape, gay rights, animal rights, anti-Semitism, fun, teenage suicide, teenage pregnancy, and AIDS even came up. So, lots of
It's like
issues.
Degrassi, but
it is
older.
exactly like Degrassi.
We should do Degrassi.
We have to do Degrassi.
Can we do like 2 episodes of Degrassi?
Yes, please. We have to do the one where Clued shoots himself in the bathroom. Because Snape finds him. And I never figured it out. Like, it sounded like they were calling him Cloud, but his name was actually Claude because they're from...
That was like on
Canada.
Baywatch when they had Shawnee, but it sounded like they're saying
Oh,
Shawnee.
Liz has said you should totally live broadcast every recording.
I think you probably get sick of it after a while.
Yeah, exactly. And also, this is like the recording of the actual podcast. So
yeah,
I
so you'll
hope
hear
this
it
is-
twice.
Yeah, you'll hear it twice. But yeah, hopefully it will translate well in the...
We're awesome, so why wouldn't it?
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Seriously, we're talking about amazing topics.
Incredible stuff. Back to Degrassi, actually. I've been watching the new seasons. So I started because there's a
Is that the one with Drake in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a very, very new one that just got recorded in 2016.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I
Whoa,
watched
okay.
that, and then I accidentally started watching it backwards, which wasn't really my finest hour, so I've gotten all confused. But I've started back at season 4 now, but in one of the most recent episodes... So Snake, the character of Snake, is now the principal of Degrassi.
I knew that, yeah.
And he's the one that found Claude, which was the one I was talking about, that shot himself in the bathroom. So he discovered a kid that had committed suicide at school. And then in this episode where he's the principal, another kid who's at the school found a different kid that killed himself. And then he had to go to the principal's office and find out about it. And they never mentioned it.
What?
It was such a wasted opportunity. I was so angry. I was like, guys, come on. Well, I didn't forget.
Well, when I was reading Confidential, I'm like, did you have an actual hand in writing any of the...
Did you read them?
Yeah, I'm like, none of this makes any sense. There's no continuity whatsoever.
None. So sweet. We're recording confidential as well. So yeah, that's we're referring to that now.
Yeah.
That's a disaster.
Still, I need therapy to get through that.
Yeah. So back to 90210. I can do it a lot. Actually, one of my friends, we started doing it one day. We went and I went shh, and she went pa pa.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was like, no, it's definitely
sorry, friend.
Yeah,
no.
sorry, friend. I actually have lots of friends that have helped contribute to this. So many friends. I have lots of friends that contributed to this episode. So yeah, I'm very excited. Thank you, Tane and Nay and Fee.
That sounds like my whole name.
Yeah, my mum gets confused. She can't tell my friends apart because they all have one syllable half names.
Yeah. Stay.
Yeah, so, oh gosh, we've got so much to cover in here.
I know, so I actually watched the first episode probably 6 or 7 years ago now. I got like a DVD from, remember those things called video stores?
Yeah, those things. Blockbuster?
Yeah, Blockbuster, if you like to watch Amanda. So I think I got the first season of Beverly Hills and I got the first season of... No, I had the first episode of Beverly Hills 90210 on VHS.
Yeah.
Just the one episode. There's a lot of bike pants.
Yeah, so many
I seem to remember bike pants and like the tied up shirt.
Yeah, and that weird thing where you'd have like a little strip of fabric down the side of your pants that was a different colour to the rest of the pants.
Yeah, I
like
actually showed a picture
on
when we did the 90s fashion and I did a post. I was wearing black bike pants with a pink section and black polka dots.
Yeah.
And I thought they were the best things ever. I really did. So the first episode I watched quite a few times, and I watched like a compilation of like the 10 best moments or something on YouTube last night, and I forgot how much I'd actually seen. But I guess in 10 years, like, so many people left and then they got replaced by other people and I didn't like those so much. And
yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that either.
No.
And it kind of got a bit like these two twins have been living at their parents' place for 10 years and how long are they going to stay doing this?
Well, then
for?
Steve moves in. Like when the parents move away.
Steve ends up in that house. I do love that house though. But so we're just going to kind of do like little snippets of episodes and things that...
Shit that we remember.
Shit that we remember. Mm-hmm. So I've got a section here. We're going to have to jump backwards and forwards. So there's a few episodes we'd like to talk about. My favourite episode ever is Donna Martin Graduates. So this is an episode where all the kids are told that they absolutely cannot be drunk at the prom. And then someone spikes Donna's drink because, you know, she's just the most perfect virginal character.
You know, her dad wrote that into her contract that she had to stay a virgin until after graduation.
Yeah, I saw that. It was very strange.
He was very strange.
Yeah, really weird. I also love the urban myth that Tori Spelling auditioned for the role.
Yeah, for Kelly.
No, she auditioned for the role under a different name. So, you know, she wouldn't be accused of nepotism when she got into her dad's production. And it's like, does he know what you look like?
Yeah, was he there doing
Obviously,
casting?
he would have been there for casting.
Actually, I noticed that she mentioned probably a few years ago now, she said, I think my dad had something to do with it.
Oh, we just got a comment from Megan. Donna Martin graduates! Donna Martin graduates!
Do you remember the episode where she came dressed as like a mermaid to a party?
And she couldn't move and she was like shuffling around. So funny.
Yeah.
So Donna was like, none of the kids were allowed to get drunk at the prom.
No.
And someone spikes Donna's drink because she would never actually knowingly do anything wrong. And then she gets really drunk and then they say that she can't graduate even though she's Donna Martin and she made one mistake ever. And then the kids have a rally and then they chant, Donna Martin graduates, Donna Martin graduates. And it's just my favourite thing. And you can actually get t-shirts now that say Donna Martin graduates. And I saw a dude wearing one in Fitzroy the other day and I was like, respect, friend.
Yeah,
I love you. Would you like to go and have a beer?
If you knew, you probably just got it from Savers.
Yeah, I wonder. He was really young, so I'm wondering if he would have been, you know, watching it quite ironically.
Yeah.
Are kids watching it ironically? Yeah, if anyone.
I don't think so.
No, actually, I've got my friend who I'm actually having dinner with tonight. My friend Nina. She's about 4 or 5 years younger than me, and when I first started, she's a good friend of my partner's. When I first started dating my partner like 10 years ago, she was much younger than me, and she's just like, oh, what's this show that you're talking about? I'm like, Beverly Hills 90210. She had no freaking clue. She watched it all as an adult and quite enjoyed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be that fun, but she watched the first season and
when
quite
it
enjoyed
first
it.
came out, in 1990. I was 10, and it was on Channel 10 where I lived. Probably Channel 10 everywhere in Australia. I don't know. I don't know how this shit works. But it was like on at prime time, so I think it was after Roseanne. So I was always watching Roseanne, and then it would come on after that. I think it was on. I don't know. I had to go to bed at 8:30, so any time in then. But I think as time went on, it was on at a different time slot. So I think younger people than us probably weren't just naturally watching TV at that hour, and you had to probably hunt it down.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm experiencing with my Degrassi thing at the moment. So you can't download it because it's obviously just not very popular and no one's watching it.
No one's got that in there.
So and the only time I ever see it is kind of late at night, so I've sort of sporadically watched episodes throughout the years, and now I have to just like stream it off YouTube, which is fun for everyone.
Yes.
Another episode that I really enjoyed was the one where Dylan's dad dies in the car explosion. So they've been friends for...
His girlfriend dies.
No, it's the dad. And he's like, Jack! He's like, Mendoza! And they've only been friends for like 5 minutes. But yeah, the girlfriend dies as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's later.
Yeah.
When she's like friends with them, he's friends with the mob or something.
Yes, and like, what's the mob doing?
Yeah.
It's like, how bad can Dylan be? Let's get him involved with the mob.
Yeah, but I mean...
It just seems so unlikely.
Especially like Beverly Hills kids.
Yeah, I know. Like, I mean, he's from the wrong side of the tracks, obviously, but still.
The rich.
But did you see like that episode where he was just screaming? I'm like, that's like, I don't know that I would go so far if somebody died. Like maybe if it was a shock or something.
I think it was a bit of a shock because the car exploded and he'd just got his dad back. And it was the whole thing. But yeah, I thought that was very funny. I do love a shout to the sky and a good scream. It was excellent. This is another one of my absolute favourite ones, is where Donna gets held captive by a rapist and she's in a bedroom and she's behind the door, and then David comes in and he's like, hey Donna, we've got to go, and she's like, no Dave, I'm staying here, and then he like heard something weird in her voice and then like
she called him Dave.
Exactly, she called him Dave, and that was like the whole code because she never calls him Dave, she never called him David, and then he came crashing through the door to save her, and she was like, you know I never call you Dave, I only ever call you David. And so that's how she got saved from being raped. And that was really early on in the season as well. Like,
people probably got paid a lot of money to write these episodes too.
It's just not even, it's like so far-fetched. It's not, like, it's the least creative thing.
I actually think, like, the first season, it was quite, not relatable for me because obviously I didn't live in that time, but it was more believable. And I think maybe as time went on, I'm like, let's bring in the mob and some rapists.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I found, like, one of the things that I remember was when Brenda was smoking weed on, like, a window, her bedroom window.
Oh, yeah!
And then in that, like, window seat that she was sitting on, she found, like, some old broad's diary. Like, how did no one even notice that was there? In that, how many times they sold the house. And I immediately went to my room and I, like, wrote this thing that, like, people will find in the future.
That is amazing.
I think I hid it in the wall.
That's awesome.
I think it's still there.
I actually have in a house that I lived in many years ago because my parents built it. I have a time capsule in the wall, and my dad just propped it into the wall.
That's very fun.
I'd love to know what's in that.
I actually wrote myself a letter that I wasn't supposed to open for 10 years, but it was probably just like the lyrics of Baby Got Back.
It totally would have been.
Exciting.
I actually I had a reader of ours contact me with a link, the lovely Emily Hawker, and she linked to this article where it proves that the character of Steve is responsible for the concept of the Sharknado, which is a combination between a shark and a tornado. Apparently, in the show, Steve mentions Sharknado, like he's just thought of it, which is really funny because Ian Ziering is actually in the Sharknado films.
Yeah, he is. But can I stop you? It's pronounced iron.
Oh, it is. It's iron. I'm so sorry. It's iron.
Excuse me.
Ian Ziering.
Yes. And I remember back when Facebook was like in its infancy and you could have quotes from movies. And I had one quote just randomly in the like sidebar, and then another quote under my name, which we'll get to in the Buffy episode. But Steve had said like something like radical is a state of mind or something, and I'm like, okay. You would say that. Like I don't know, Steve wasn't my favourite.
He also
He
just
was like
wasn't
long
consistent. I didn't know whether or not I was
I didn't
supposed to
like
like
his
him or
hair
hate
or
him.
his board shorts.
His
I
hair
don't
was
know.
a bit ridiculous.
I just hated him from the start.
I just didn't know how I was supposed to feel about him. Like, one minute he was an uber jerk, and the next minute he was quite lovely, and then
He kind of reminds me of like
loved him,
the Bruce Patman kind of. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, he was just that kind of like annoying rich kid.
Yeah, who kind of tried to be nice but couldn't quite get there.
No.
Couldn't quite get his niceness erection up.
I think it's because Brandon stole it.
Yeah.
The nicest guy in the history of the world.
Also, another favourite episode of mine. Oh, we've got another comment. I'd forgotten about Dylan's dad. I knew there would be a dad factor for me. Hashtag not Dawson's dad, but good enough. PS.
Nobody will beat Dawson's dad.
No, Dawson's dad forever.
You know what? Every time I lean forward when I drop something while I'm driving, I think of him. It's not an ice cream, but I think of him. He was hot.
He was hot.
He was so hot.
Yeah, I think the pioneer of the dad crush.
Yes, and I was thinking of Jim and Cindy, which also makes me think of your mates Jim and Chrissy.
Mm.
So I think you're going to have to call him Jim and Cindy now. But he wasn't like a hot dad.
No.
He was just like a
dad.
balding middle-aged dad.
And he had a receding hairline. I think that's the difference. I think if you want a hot, fuckable dad in a show, he needs to have all his hair or no hair. I think receding hairlines, you have to. I mean, from a young point of view, not like when you're a grown up and you might.
Well, maybe they were trying to get to the I don't know, the mums. Hey, that's flashing. What does that say?
Oh, I don't know.
Your connection is weak.
Oh no, I don't know how to deal with this. Is
No,
that bad? Are we connected to a thing? Should we just keep going?
Yeah, why not?
All right. Yeah. So we had I had a weird memory and I wasn't sure if this was a real thing or not. So I think there was an episode where Brandon was in love with an Olympic ice skater and they had to break up because she was a distraction. But then I wasn't sure if that was an episode or whether that was like a shitty movie that he did after 90210.
No, the chick wasn't. I don't know that she ever like ice skated on the show, but it was part of her history. Was ice skating.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I don't know, everybody's like love lines get so confusing. I just remember Andrea and Brandon, and she was just so deathly in love with him. But she was like, from in the school. What?
Just take a moment to talk about Andrea.
Can we?
What the fuck happened to Andrea? I mean, really?
Well, she was 29 when they started that show. She even had to consult a lawyer. She's like, look, I've lied. Can I still be in the show? And they're like, yeah, just say you're over 21. But she was like old as the earth.
Yeah.
And then like 5 years later when she fell pregnant in real life, they had to write it into the show.
Which is why the incredibly intelligent, awesome character of Andrea ended up pregnant at the age of 19 and a dropout and didn't end up going to Yale as...
She did, but yeah, not until later.
Yeah, not until heaps later.
No, but I got really excited because I found out only recently that when she quit the show, or whatever happened with her leaving the show, she then had her own talk show named, like, self-titled talk show. It only ran for one season.
Was it the Zomagod?
Yeah, is
that one? I think it was called Zomagod.
No, it's just like me going, oh my god.
Oh no, I thought that's what it was called. Like,
no. I've just written, after her original 5-year contract ended, Carter has voluntarily left 90210 for her own self-titled talk show. Oh my god, what? Holy fuck, YouTube. In 1995, graffiti artists GK and Skept give their take on the graffiti culture in the 90s on the Gabriel Carteris talk show.
That is awesome.
If you watch, I'll leave a link in the show notes. If you watch that YouTube clip, he's got a fucking bandana on and sunglasses and a hat. She's like, sir, what's with the mask? And he's like, I've just done some shit. I don't want to go back to jail. They don't even recognize me. And she's like, okay. This is a safe space. Let's talk about your graffiti. Like,
tell Andrea all about it.
What was she doing? She voluntarily left that show for one season of her own. Maybe she thought, well, Ricky Lake was probably pretty big back then. So.
Yeah. I think that was very.
But she looked like Andrea. Like she had the glasses and the little face, and she was like, "Tell me more. How do you get on top of the bridge?" Yeah.
I have a friend who is an actor in LA, and she went on an audition once, and the only other person that went on the audition that she could see was Gabriel Carteris, and she was just like, "Wow, I feel really sad." Because she was like, that's not good. This was like 3 years ago.
Oh,
she
really?
was like, damn it.
Yes.
She's like, if she's auditioning for the same stuff, she's like, oh, how do you make it in the Hollywoods?
You don't.
So, yeah, where were we?
Sorry, I totally screwed you up with my panic.
No, it's really good. Oh, also when Shannon Doherty left the show, Drew Barrymore was offered a spot as her replacement, like not necessarily to be like, oh, now Brandon's
You look so different. Like second Becky on Revenge.
she was going to be the Tiffany Amber Thiessen character.
Yeah, which I didn't like that character.
I always loved a bit of Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
I like that she was brought in to be like a bit of a villain. Apparently ratings went up when she came in. But
I started watching it again because she was in Saved by the Bell, and then...
Yeah, well, I liked Saved by the Bell, but I didn't necessarily like the crossover into my other television programs. So I sort of had stopped watching it by then. But I remember they had a very nice beach house.
Yes.
It was fancy.
Yes. I can actually remember an interview with Tiffany Amber Thiessen, and she was the first celebrity I can remember who spoke about watching her weight and like eating salads and eating really healthily. And I can just remember like really respecting her for that, because that wasn't a huge conversation. That wasn't, a lot of celebrities do that now, and it's, you know, people are kind of more open about. Yeah, no. Is that still working?
Yeah, it just says conversation starter, 10 comments so far.
Oh, Facebook is congratulating us on our conversational skills.
Yes, thank you very much.
That's
I really
nice.
appreciate that.
Thanks FB. Where are we up to? Oh yeah, so we were talking about episodes. Emily Valentine. We need to talk about Emily Valentine.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan, but yeah.
Well, her character went all skew-if. Like, I was never really sure where the character was going, but I think we can all remember the Breaking Up is Hard to Do episode where all the girls sang on the float with they had like the Robert Palmer jackets and things. It was hilarious. But then she went out partying with Brandon and drugged him, and then he got really cranky, as you do when people drug you, and then he broke up with her, and then she tried to burn down the Walsh house.
I like her now.
Yeah, she was great.
That's a great character.
She was fabulous, and she had that really like hardcore eyeliner kind of thing. Hi, Shani.
How are ya?
It's good to see you. We're live streaming.
We're in the future.
It's Inception. Also, we were really interested in the cameos as well. So
the cameos were one of the best things.
They were fantastic. Yeah. Well, only in retrospect, because all the people...
Oh, I would have had no idea at the time.
Well, Matthew Perry was in it.
Yeah.
And he played like a rich kid that had daddy issues. Which
the Lila character.
Yeah, totally the Lila character. Also, Dean Cain made an appearance.
Do you remember when that Superman show was huge?
Shani just wrote, "You can't see me." No, we can't see you.
No, but you've popped up, your little face has popped up underneath our video.
And we can see your comments.
So we can see you.
And Facebook
But not your face. I mean, like, not a video of you.
Facebook called us a conversation starter, so we're really excited. It's saying things to us.
It's congratulating.
It is. It's like, yeah, you're doing a thing.
And our ability to technologize.
Technology. What were we talking about? Oh, yeah, Dean Cain. So Brenda meets him in Paris. And she pretends to be French. And
who doesn't pretend?
But like, as if you could pull off pretending to be French in France.
No.
Like, no. And then when she comes back to California, she accidentally runs into him, and he finds out that she's American. And then he says, "I fell in love with Brenda Dubois. I can fall in love with Brenda Walsh."
Brenda Dubois.
Like, how sexual is that? You're like, just take me now.
Superman. So did he speak with like a French accent, or?
He didn't have a French accent. She was pretending to be French.
Oh, so confusing.
I know. And Dean Cain's just like an offensively good-looking human.
He's a bit buff for me.
Oh, no, he's not my type at all. But...
No, but he's very pretty.
I'm just like, how do you exist? Like, how do you walk past mirrors being that
fellow? Like Brad Pitt. I'm like, how do you... And then, like, you see his brother, and I'm like...
I know. It's like some...
How does Brad Pitt just, like, I don't know, be birthed to the world looking like that?
And you know what? His brother's not a bad-looking dude.
No, he's not. He's actually quite funny. I think he's a bit of alright.
I loved the Brad Pitt brother ads with, was it Virgin or something? It was like a phone company. Vodafone? It was something about like...
One of them, I don't know.
Something about like the second best will do.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. He did it really well. Do you know, back in the day when I first got... Actually, it was my second mobile phone. I went with Vodafone because Kramer was in the ads.
I think that's a completely legitimate choice.
That was the only reason that I chose that.
I'm a heartbeat away from switching to Optus because of the Ricky Gervais ads. They're so funny.
He's hilarious.
Actually, he really is. Do you follow him on Facebook though? It's a bit awkward.
Yes, I do.
It's not the greatest thing that's ever happened.
No, it's not.
To pretend like that doesn't exist.
I just sometimes just scroll past.
Ricky Gervais is a bit of a jerk on Facebook.
Ricky Gervais is a bit of a jerk, full stop, but
Yeah.
I think that's why I like him. But when I started doing some work with Netflix, they said to us, how can we help you? And I said, how soon can you get me in a room with Ricky Gervais? And they're like, we'll see what we can do. I'm like, I make really good tea. I'll just stand, I won't do anything. But apparently he won't come to Australia, so...
He won't come to Australia.
I don't know, someone said that.
Wouldn't surprise me. Princess.
I know.
I actually heard a really interesting, I read a very interesting fact about 90210 today. Apparently, the creator Darren Star is from a place called Potomac in Maryland.
Potomac.
Oh, Potomac.
Yeah. I went to Washington, I'm like, is that how you say it?
Yeah, no, it's kind of like when people come to Pran in Melbourne and they go, Prahan.
Oh, they say Brisbane.
Yeah, Brisbane or Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Potomac.
Although when Oprah came...
Did you say Potomac?
Potomac.
Potomac.
Yeah, when Oprah came, she said Melbourne.
Melbourne.
But also, she said Melbourne so many times in her talk, in her 2-hour talk. I'm like, is she getting paid like $1 million every time she says Melbourne?
Because she's
just
saying
the
a
word
lot.
Melbourne. She said it like 10 times.
Possibly.
Yeah. I don't know. Melbourne.
So Potomac. Is that right?
Hey, Ronnie. That's my sister-in-law there.
Oh, hi. So it's Potomac, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's from Potomac in Maryland.
Yes.
Darren Star, and when he was creating the show, he used the working title of Potomac 20854.
It just rolls off the tongue. I don't know how they can call it that.
So it could have been Potomac 20854.
I know, you have to double check before you say the right number.
I'm like reading it out, like I have to make sure that this is an actual proper thing. But yeah, so that would have been a vastly different show.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't. I don't think it would have taken off.
Also, reading about Shannon Doherty and the real reason why...
Me! All my family's here. Whoop,
Oh, this is exciting. So the real reason why Shannon Doherty actually got fired, everyone was like, oh, she's a total princess, blah, blah, blah.
She always turns up late. She's fucking everybody.
All of that was true. She was a nightmare to work with, but apparently the real reason was that she cut her hair halfway through shooting the season finale and didn't tell anyone, and basically screwed up the entire continuity of the show. And they fired her, and that's why she kind of just disappeared.
I think that was like
out
the
of
straw that
nowhere.
broke the camel's back, because
It's pretty irresponsible. Like,
well, it's probably like written into your contract, because Emma Watson had to have her hair long when she did Harry Potter, and so many people have to be like the same weight.
Yeah.
They have to be the same weight. They have to be the same. Like, they can't cut the hair or color it. But I watched the final scene between her and Dylan before she moves to London, and I was just looking at it going, no, that hair is so bad. She just like cut it to here, and it's like, it's very mom hair. So I was, but she has like the two little bits in the middle.
That's my
Sleep
favorite
with me,
look.
Dylan. I'm going to London.
And you need to have like the PC bob as well, with all like the PC chunky bit.
And she was wearing
But it
the
needs to
wrong
be-
outfit. If you're there
Like
to
it needs to
seduce
be like a
bad
ponytail, like that waterfall ponytail with the bits at the front. So hot right now.
Yeah.
Or with one of those like clips, those claw clips.
Oh, everybody! I could never. Like, I've got too much hair for a claw clip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know
You
exactly
get me.
what you're talking about. Other cameos: Christina Aguilera was in the final, the high school season. She was at the prom. Yeah, she performed all of her excellent hits before she got
Genie
like.
in a bottle.
It was exactly Genie in a bottle, and she was wearing those like low-slung red leather pants where you could just see like both hip bones. Remember when fashion was all about seeing people's hip bones?
Yeah, it was all about like the mega low pan.
I haven't seen a hip bone in a while.
No,
I don't hate that.
I'm not that sad.
Yeah. It is interesting though, because you know my teen years were thwarted by the hip bone.
Yeah, no, mine was still very high waisted, like mid-90s. But then sort of Britney came out and her pants got lower and lower.
Yeah, and the top got higher and higher, and it's like, how much skin do you have between
it's
your
funny,
pubes
like-
and your boobs?
A lot. It's funny because when you look at like the 90s, like I think in the first episode of 90210, Kelly...
Nicole's just said she wants the wine. Cheers.
You can't,
I actually
you got
have
a
top
baby
up.
in your belly. You can't have my wine.
I'm actually having a top up now. because
I'm too slow. So in the first episode, I'm pretty sure Kelly is wearing like green bike pants, like, and quite long bike pants too.
Yeah.
And she's got like a shirt tied up. But when you
bike pants right above the knee was the situation that we were dealing with.
Well, yeah. But when I was thinking like their like midriff tops were midriff.
Oh yeah.
But their pants were high waisted, so you had like you
Yeah.
couldn't really see any like belly button action. And then like Brittany came along, and then just like the pants got longer and just shorter and shorter.
Shorter and shorter. And those horrible hipster pants where it like barely covered your butt crack. That was a whole thing.
I remember she like had a pair of Roberto Cavalli pants, and then she was like, "I think we should bedazzle these." I'm like, "No, I don't think you."
I just think that's a sentence no one should ever say again.
No,
Not okay.
We should bedazzle.
Also, Jessica Alba was in season 8, and she was a teen mother who dumped her baby in the garbage, and the baby was then adopted by a gay couple, and then she got Kelly, who's a counsellor. So this is like way later in the series to get the baby back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun. And David Arquette was in it as well, which is very interesting because we're about to record our Buffy episode, and David Arquette was also in the Buffy movie with Luke Perry.
Yes, we need to be very specific that we will be talking about the Buffy movie,
not the Buffy TV
television
series
program.
Because
I didn't really watch it.
We didn't watch it. We're really sorry. And I've tried watching it as an adult, and it doesn't translate.
Can't do
I'm
it.
sorry.
The Buffy movie is amazing.
I really, really like it.
I really like it. I still really like it.
It's an absolute train wreck, but it's
But
fun.
I like Buffy's lines. I thought she was very witty. I liked her gymnastics.
We're also
I
huge
liked
fans
her
of Christy
knife
Swanson
skills.
as well.
Yes, yeah. When we get into our
we're gonna save that for the Buffy one. But yeah, huge fans of the Christy. I'm just trying to see what other things we haven't gone through.
I remember
yet.
Kelly when she took Brenda shopping, and Brenda was like poor as fuck because they're like middle class. I mean, they live in that massive house, but I don't know how Beverly Hills works. Maybe that's just your average. And Brenda was like, I want to buy this. And she's like, cheap or cheap, Brenda, you decide. And I'm like,
yes,
probably just go cheap. Can't afford chic.
Yeah.
Oh no, my phone says my storage is almost full.
Oh no.
Talk too much.
Yeah, we're talking way too much. Breaking the phone, and now I'm nearly breaking my phone. Also, do we need to talk about Tori Spelling's boobs a little bit?
We do. I don't feel as though we could have a 90210 episode without mentioning her tits.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not the tits.
Yeah, it was a whole thing, and there was lots of controversy, and she was saying that she didn't have a boob job, and everyone was like, but you clearly did have a boob job.
Did have.
She so did have a boob job, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, own it. And also, natural
They did look like
boobs
bullets.
don't grow that way.
They were very gappy.
So gappy. It was like you could drive she had like boob gap.
She could
like
do, like in The Breakfast Club, when Claire puts the lipstick in.
And does that.
Yeah, Dawn couldn't do that.
No.
But she had David, so he probably put a lipstick on for her.
Yeah.
Dave.
Oh, that was actually another throwback that, so there was an episode where, you know how Kelly always had lots of,
Boys.
body issues.
Yeah,
so she
didn't
had
she
like
have
an eating
bulimia?
disorder. Yeah, she had bulimia, and then when Jackie had the baby, whose real name I can't remember, but she's Silver in the new one.
Yeah, they call her Silver.
Oh, I can't remember. It's not
That's
Erica. Is it Erica?
normal name.
Is it baby Erica or Erin? Baby Erin. Erin. So Kelly's mum has a kid, and Kelly is trying to get her mum, Jackie, to stop talking about body issues and stuff in front of the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's just like, oh, I'm only going to have frozen yogurt because it has less calories than ice cream. And that's
That
where
tastes like shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy
But that's where it all stemmed from.
Yeah.
And then that kind of leads into Silver and her having... She didn't end up having eating issues in 90210, but she bloody looked like she did.
Yeah, she was rather thin.
Yeah.
I remember Kelly, going to binge, but I guess you can't really film
Yeah.
a proper, so she would just put it in the garbage disposal.
Don't do that. That's Cheetos.
Sorry. Yeah, I remember she fought with her mum a lot, and I had a lot of friends who would fight with their mum like that.
I was quite the fan of Jackie. I loved that character. She was
Yeah,
just
it was a good character.
she was so power 80s, even though it was the 90s.
She was. She really was the big shoulder pads, and I liked Steve's mum, the old Days of Our Lives kind of soapy star that like wasn't famous anymore.
Yeah.
And she just like, yeah, was sad and washed up.
Yeah, I loved it. And she got married a few times as well, because she married David's dad.
Yeah.
And they ended
I
up...
remember when David's little friend accidentally shot himself.
Oh my God, that was heartbreaking.
That was really sad. Yeah,
that was
Scott.
really, really sad.
Do you remember like when the first episode and they were going to like the cool kids party? And then like little David with his little earring and his little hat. Yeah, I felt really bad because he and Scott were just super best friends.
He's just like big fat married to Megan Fox, and they're like completely happy.
Well, I think they had a little bit of a to-do a little while ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because there was like 2 kids now.
There was no. Well, she's pregnant again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I heard that there was a bit of a who's the father, and she posted a very quippy, witty thing on the Instagrams of all these pictures of men that she'd been seen with quite recently.
Oh, really?
With hashtag not the father, hashtag not the
Oh,
father.
that's so funny.
I was like, you're hilarious. I love you.
Yeah. And I quite like him.
But yeah, they've been together forever. I really like a celebrity couple that lasts.
I do too, but I also quite like a bit of a triple barrel name.
Yes.
I feel as though it's entirely unnecessary, and I would never have one. But you couldn't call him Brian Green, like it just wouldn't be right.
No, it is. It's
like Anthony
Brian
Michael
Austin
Hall
Green.
is my favourite triple barrel name. But
Is who? What's that?
Anthony Michael Hall.
Michael Hall. Yeah.
He was in the 80s.
I thought that's just double barrel. Isn't just 2 the double? I thought triple barrel would be like 3 surnames.
No, like 3 names. Like I'm not known as Stacey Lee Roberts. Although I could.
No, but I think I guess you'd have like a double barrel surname.
Well, that's when it's hyphenated, yeah.
Oh, okay. If it's not hyphenated,
Like in Titanic, and Rose's name is Rose DeWitt McCann.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Yes. Brian Green.
Brian Green.
Brian.
Yeah, I think that's actually everything that we've written down for our notes, I think.
Yeah, I think I wrote a few little things.
I'm not sure that it's synced it onto mine.
Oh, it might not have. That's alright. I don't think I really said anything of vast interest. But I think it was mostly just like cast reminiscing about what they had, like when they were interviewed, 10 years later. Like Brandon, that's not even his real name.
Actually, that was an interesting thing. I didn't know that Brandon was a name until
No,
I noticed
either.
that. I was like, don't you mean Brendan? I thought they were just mispronouncing it.
Yeah, because I had never heard of Brandon, and I
Yeah.
liked it better than Brendan. But I
Yeah.
remember Pamela Anderson had a Brandon. She had a baby
She
boy
did,
called
yeah.
Brandon. So what have I said here?
Oh, just while you're searching, there was a cool fact about when Jason Priestley got cast. He got cast very quickly and at the last minute. So he auditioned on a Thursday afternoon, got the job on a Friday afternoon, and started filming on Monday.
On Monday.
Yeah, so it was like 4 days, life change.
But if you think about it, like I couldn't imagine anybody else in that Brandon role.
Mm-mm.
And his hair defied all the odds.
It was like element proof.
It really was. But when I was watching it, I lived in the outback, so there was no fancy hair. There was no men having blow dries. There was no hair that stood up like that, unless it was Bart Simpson. But also, it was a total world away from what my reality was. So his name was Brandon, which I'd never heard of. His hair was just like perfect every day. I'm like, does he like get a hairdryer? Everything was so confusing.
And he had a lot of hair as well. It was really thick.
He really did. But I thought he was like good looking. And then of course Dylan popped up, and there became the confusion, because obviously like it's not a question that Brenda would ever ask. But it was very much Kelly's reality, bouncing between one or the other. But I watched a video of like Kelly and Dylan's moments together, and he was a complete dick to her.
Oh, yeah.
Just constant dickery. And I thought, it was probably easy for us to sit back and figure out, that Brandon was a nice guy and Dylan was a bad boy. But I think they were just cast that way.
Yeah.
But I still can't decide which one that I like better.
Well, I would have to go with Dylan, just because I found Brandon to be so simpery. Like, there was nothing...
He's just so wholesome. Like, you just know that he would have, like, called you and said, I'll be home by 6, and he would have been home by, like, 5:55.
But I also feel like he's the type of guy that just, like, never gives a girl an orgasm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I just kind
and
of
how
feel
far
like,
can you go with that?
I don't know, it just doesn't last. Whereas Dylan would just
But
get
Dylan
that
got out of
shit
the car the
sorted.
other day, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with your shoulders? I don't know if I could have a man with bad shoulders. Like,
Yeah, okay, I'll pay that.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of the posture.
he just kind of looked a bit skinny and...
Yeah. Apparently he was fabulous in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He did a good 10-year
I
stint.
can imagine he would have been phenomenal.
I don't know if it was in London or not. Was it in
I
London?
find it very difficult for anyone to do a Tim Curry part, but I feel as though that, I don't know, I think he would have been...
Actually, Craig McLachlan
did it really well.
Spectacular.
Yeah.
Really, like...
I wasn't expecting him to be...
I had really low expectations just because Tim Curry's a god.
Yeah.
And I was just...
And Craig McLachlan has just got
No,
that
and
song
Craig
Mona.
McLachlan's Craig McLachlan. Mona.
Which I did like, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
Hey, Brenda. Thanks
Hi.
for
Oh,
joining.
we've got a Brenda who just joined.
Yeah, my old mate from way back.
No, but Brenda.
Oh, Brenda. This is
Like,
my
totally-
next episode.
Totally missed
Brenda's
it.
here.
We've got a Brenda, guys, in the house. Woo! What was I saying? Oh yeah, because you know Tim Curry is an absolute god,
Yeah.
and also Craig McLachlan is Craig McLachlan. And then I saw it recently in Melbourne, and I was like, "You're the best thing that's ever happened."
I feel as though he would have done a really good job.
He
I
was
think my
fabulous.
husband has seen the stage production, and I think he said that Craig McLachlan did really
Yeah.
good. And he is the world's biggest Tim Curry fan. So.
Yeah, and also I think that he did a really good job considering that everyone loves Tim Curry and everyone hates Craig McLachlan. So in order
Yeah,
to not only
about
be excellent in the wake of someone who's already excellent, but
Yeah.
also be excellent in the wake of people not liking you for many, many years. And not that people ever hated him, but he
No.
was just like,
But he was,
you know, soapy star in Australia that you were
Yeah.
kind of like, what? Craig who? Like, I don't know, but
He
he's
married
fabulous.
Kylie.
Was he the brother or the husband?
Was he a
I
dad?
don't know. Yeah. No, he's amazing. I have huge respect for Craig McLachlan.
Do
I
you
wouldn't kid if I
remember-
saw him in the street.
Do you remember the movie that Luke Perry was in about he was like a bull rider? No, it was like 8 seconds.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I went to the movies because that's all there was to do in my town. And I quite liked that movie, but, you know, I was young. But I also found out that he married his wife in that era. She was a fan, and she mailed him a lacy black bra of hers.
Shut up, that's so cute.
And he was like, get her on the phone. Where is this girl? And I'm like, I could have done that. I don't wear a bra, but I could have done that.
That
could
would
have
have
loved
been
me.
amazing. Do you know she's a gorgeous, gorgeous plus size model called Tess Munster?
No.
She's great. She's one of the first plus size models to be signed by a mainstream
Like a normal
model agency. And she's absolutely stunning. And her husband is an Australian guy, so she's in Australia a lot, and people couldn't figure it out because she's American.
Oh.
And he pursued her, so and he's
Wow.
adorable. He's got like full hipster beard and like gorgeous ponytail hair and all that kind of stuff.
really
And
cute.
he just saw her in a random campaign, and this was before she exploded. Like she's huge now,
Yeah.
but this was before she got very
Is
famous.
she blonde?
No, she's got she's very pin-up. She's got tattoos and the most beautiful face you've ever seen. Like she's just an absolute stunner.
Yeah.
And she's quite big, so I think even for like plus size model standards, she's not like a
Okay.
size 14. I think she's a size 24 or 20,
Okay.
26 or something. She's very short though, but she's absolutely stunning. And he pursued her. He saw her in a campaign and was like, I think you're hot as fuck. I want you, and just chased her down, and she was like, okay, you're being really weird and you're creeping me out. And then they ended up
Cute.
together and they got married, and she's pregnant with his baby now.
Oh, isn't that adorable?
Which is really nice. So, guys, if you
So
have
you
a crush
can
on
be a creepy
someone
stalker
famous,
And married.
just go for it.
Person that you love. Never worked for me and Ben Gillies, but
Yeah,
This
I didn't know
guy.
who that was, did I?
the Silverchair guys.
Silverchair guy. Yeah, I didn't know.
Although there was a rusty memory in my mind somewhere, I have a feeling that he had done the same thing. It was some kind of fan. I don't know, but I think she might have lived in the same town as him. I seem to remember him singing some kind of song under a window, and I'm like, that could have been me.
I want that so badly. If anyone,
I don't. I
like,
can't stand when
no.
people like sing at me. I find that really weird. Like I remember when Josh Groban came in, Oprah did like a surprise for Gail, and Josh was just like sitting here in front of Gail, like singing to her like this. Like, where do you look when that's happening? And she's like singing along, and I'm like, this is awkward.
I would
But
love that so much.
I
That would
would
make
have
my life.
had I been, young and Ben Gillies did.
I've
but
got
he
a
could
friend
sing.
who has had 2 songs written about him, and I'm so jealous. I know, I would love someone to write a song about me. It doesn't even have to be that funny.
Doesn't even have to make
It
sense.
doesn't even have to make sense, just, something.
Carly, her teeth are big and green.
Thank you.
Carly,
You're making my
it's not a gasoline.
dreams coming true.
You can sing that to me on Sunday. It's my birthday on Sunday.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yes, I know. I'm going to be 19.
You don't look a day over 12.
Can't wait.
I think that's actually just about it for the 90210 episode.
Yeah, I think I had some things to say, but, you know.
Is there anything else that you wanted to throw in there? Because I think we're just about wrapping up.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you so much for listening. This is an interesting episode because we've been live streaming it on Facebook as well. So we've been reading out the Facebook messages as they've been coming up. It's been really fun.
I've actually really enjoyed it.
I'm
going to be really sad to say goodbye to all of you.
I know, and all of the
However,
Facebook people. It's so Inception-y, like
I know.
on the
How many
internet.
do we have at the moment? 24. Oh. So what we're going to do for the next episode, which is in like 2 minutes after we have a wee break.
Yeah.
We're going to be on Periscope. So we're going to be on... Have you got Periscope?
I do have Periscope.
We're going to be on
Periscoping.
Carly's Periscope.
So I'm at Smaggle on Twitter, and you can find the next one on Periscope, and I'll be putting it on my Facebook, and we'll get Stacey to put it on her Facebook as well. And the people who are listening to the podcast, this was way in the past, so please ignore everything you just heard us say.
You can still visit us at our Facebook page, but yeah.
And we do want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been sending us beautiful messages and stuff about the podcast and saying how much they love it. We're so incredibly stoked, and we've been seeing every week that it's still in the new and noteworthy, which is just so lovely, and people just keep liking it, which is really nice. And if you want to leave reviews, that would be awesome, but again, no pressure. Don't about doing that. No, Stacey says you have to, so guys, just do it. She's scary.
Yeah, I am. No, I really enjoyed everybody giving us out their ideas of what they want us to cover. The discussion that I got into earlier today about Dylan v. Brandon. Brandon won in a landslide.
No way.
No, I'm kidding. It was Dylan.
I was just like, who would choose
Brandon?
No one's going to choose Brandon.
Everyone goes for the bad boy. There was one Brandon. But it's the same, like I've had a conversation before about the Dawson v. Pacey.
Oh, Pacey.
Yeah, I see lots of people say Pacey, but there's a part of me that's...
But Dawson's got the jelly bean head. Like, the top of his head goes in a different direction to the bottom of his head.
I know, but I was always like, I like those shy guys. But I also love the funny guys, so I don't know. I'm still stuck. So, up until yesterday, I was still pretty... I don't know whether I'm Brandon or Dylan, because, you know, Brandon was pretty and responsible, but Dylan is a bad boy with bad shoulders. So,
yeah.
It's really difficult. I think... I don't know. In those high school years, I probably would have just gone... You remember in the Reality Bites episode, and we were like, just go for the dude that's hot and enjoy that, and when it's time
because
to settle
you're not going to be able to do that when you're older.
Yeah, when it's time to settle down, then maybe do the responsible thing and get the guy that will come home at 5:55.
Yeah. So
I feel as though I was a Dylan when I was younger, but I kind of need a bit of a Brandon Dylan together in like one person.
But also the 90s was the champion era of like the broken sweet nerdy guy, so I think we really were spoilt for choice, because that was really what tickled my clit back in the day. So
oh, shit.
And on that note, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Sweet Teen Club. We'll be back next week with another episode.
Yes, we will.
Please do tweet or Instagram or Facebook us any awesome ideas that you have for the podcast. And please keep sending photos of what you're doing when you're listening to it, because we absolutely love that. Like, you know, making toast and painting walls.
Yes.
And
I love the live tweets. Like, every time you hear something, you're like, I'm going to say something right now.
Who's the one that live tweeted the fashion one? We had a lovely woman who, I don't have my Twitter feed in front of me, but she was amazing. She was like, oh my God, you totally didn't mention like little
The
t-shirts
shirt under the
underneath the spaghetti straps. And I was like, calm your farm, it's coming up. And she was like, my apologies. Please live tweet. It's so funny.
It is. I love that she even pulled over her car.
Yeah, oh my God, you didn't say this. And we're like, we would never ever do a 90s fashion episode without mentioning the t-shirt underneath the spaghetti straps.
No, we got you back.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
All right, let me turn this thing off. I can't get this to work.
Do you want me to finish this?
Bye.
Bye.